everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about Ready to Love Reunion Part 1. We're on season 11, y'all. And what did y'all think? There were some surprises, but there was also some same old bull crap. Some people showed up the same old people, i.e. Nicole and Vince, and then there were some surprises. But hey, we started off with what's his name, Tommy, talking about this was one of the best looking groups of people ever on Ready to Love. And a lot of us talked about that earlier on. We said this is a good group of people, good looking people. From the very beginning, we said that. But it gives new meaning to the phrase, looks ain't everything. Looks ain't everything. That's why, sometimes single people, when they trying to be married or get married, they go around looking at married couples, women who are married, men who are married, and they say to themselves, dang, how did somebody marry them? How did that not good-looking woman get married? How did that not good-looking man get married? And here I am, a dime piece, and I can't seem to get married because looks ain't everything. Looks ain't everything. People better learn that. People better learn it. But Diamond was missing. Diamond said, I'm not coming to this. I was kicked off on day one, and I'm a lawyer, and I got trials to go to, people to save from jail. I don't know if she's a prosecutor or a defense attorney or a private attorney. I don't know. She just said, I got stuff to do, and I'm not showing up. I don't blame her. I probably wouldn't either, Diamond. Diamond, if I had gotten kicked off first round, I wouldn't have showed up. Because for what? Why are you going to spend all that money getting a dress, getting your hair done, your nails, your makeup done, and they're really not going to ask you no questions? You're just going to be sitting up there like a juror in a jury box. I'm with you, Diamond. Stay home and do something else. And then, let me just stop. I was just going to go straight into talking about it, but let me just say something. These folks, let's start with the women. Lauren is definitely a professional side chick. Okay, no doubt about it. We saw it all season long. She kept bringing it up. I feel like a side chick because I think she's got a lot of experience. Lauren's a side chick. And if you go back to what her friends were asking all of these men, what else do you like about Lauren besides her looks? Because what her friends know is that that's what men like Lauren for. Because Lauren's values, her moral values, they're trash. She has very, very bad values, moral values. And she's a liar. Lauren does, she's the type of person that does things in the dirt, in the mud, behind closed doors, in the dark. She throws rocks, and then she denies it all or acts as if she didn't know or if she was a victim. Her friends were right to ask that question. What do you like about Lauren besides her looks? Because her personality is, her loyalty, her moral compass is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Nicole, I know everybody's going to be calling her low self-esteem. It's beyond low self-esteem. It is zero self-esteem. She in the gutter. She at ground zero. Not low, ground zero. Sub-zero. Let's even say that. Not low, not zero, sub-zero. And it's kind of pathetic to even watch, Nicole. It was sad to watch a person go through this, to watch a person get used, come back, and ask to be used some more. Who does that? And I started thinking, who has that personality where you get used, you get rejected, but you keep coming back to the same venue, the same person, until they say yes to you? And I think this also has to do with Nicole's background in pageant world, because that is what pageant girls do, right? You go, you get rejected in that pageant, you didn't make it to the semifinals, the finals, so you come back to that same pageant and you keep trying to get elevated. Oh, I made it to, the first round of eliminations. Oh, now I made it through the second round, the third round, the fourth round. So you keep trying and trying and trying and trying. And I feel that's what Nicole does. She takes that pageant world mentality of keep trying to get to the point where you win, you know, Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Congeniality, and you ignore the rejection and you just keep going. Because that's what they teach you in the pageant world. Ignore the rejection. Ignore it. Just ignore it and keep trying. And she needs to drop that from her life. She doesn't need to do that. At this point, Nicole needs deep, deep therapy, really, really deep therapy. And what's it called when you're not even fit to make your own decisions? Like, I really feel Nicole needs a chastity belt. Somebody need to put a chastity belt on her where Nicole should go to someone for permission to open up her vagina to men. We need a chastity belt for her. Conservatorship, that's what it's called. Nicole's vagina needs to be in conservatorship. It's sad to watch. It's frustrating to watch. But Dominique played herself. I've been telling Dominique from the very beginning, old boy Bellow was after your Rolodex. You remember them 50 homes he was trying to build out in somewhere, he said, some community of affluent black people. You find out he ain't one of them. He wanted your Rolodex so he could sell to those people. But, you know, Dominique, you played yourself because I don't even know why you thought Bellow had money. He was running from child support in Miami. What made you think he had some money? Because of the way he dressed? That's on you. That's on you judging whether or not men have money based on the way they're dressed and the way that they looked. I mean, you should have known that he was after your Rolodex, and you should have known at your grown age of 40-something years old, having grown up in the church with a pastor father, that a Muslim man who walks around saying that he's traditional would not be able to accept nor marry a non-Muslim woman. I don't believe it. And he came in there with his whole full-on Nigerian garb. It looked nice. It really looked nice. What he had on looked nice. Bello gonna always present himself. He gonna present himself. But just like she said, the money was missing. Just like that hairline was missing all season long. But you played yourself, Dominique. This is what happens when you have too much self-esteem. Too much self-esteem comes from when you see issues with men and you realize that you really aren't a good fit for that man, right? Dominique should have known she was not a good fit for him. But when you have really inflated self-esteem, you could think you could overcome anything. Like, yeah, but I'm Dominique. So what if he's a Muslim, but I'm Dominique? You know, he's gonna overlook that when it comes to me. Well, no, he's not. Because later on, she starts talking about the timing in which he broke up with her Christmas. More than likely, he was over there talking to his family during the holidays, and his family said, don't bring that girl home. That's what Bellow's family told Dominique. We're gonna get into it. Ashley, I told y'all last week I was sick of Ashley, still sick of her. And what I wasn't sure about with Ashley was, why was she so mean to what's her name? Nicole. Did you see all the snide remarks Ashley was making towards Nicole? I was like, actually, your decisions haven't been too much better than Nicole's, honestly. So I really don't know why you over here trying to tell Nicole what she needs to wake up from. You was in a deep sleep too. Now you might be awakened now. You might got to hit over the head with a Darius boulder, because you know this whole episode we seem to have gone through a lot of these relationships, but the one relationship we didn't touch on was with Darius. So I guess part 2 is all going to be about Darius, because we done already gone through everybody else. So part 2 must going to be all about Darius and Ashley, and probably that's when we're going to get to hear more from Miss Shannon, the hype girl. That's what I'm going to call Shannon. She the official hype girl. She hyped up Dominique all year long, giving up her room to Dominique. And then we find out at the end that the other girlfriend that she hypes up, Mercedes, is coming on the show to help her on the back end. Shannon, I was happy to see you didn't have the single strand pearls. This time she said, let me go with the 4 or 5 strands. Shannon. I'm convinced that that's all an act for Shannon. I believe that Shannon is like this, got a mouth. I've heard a few clips of hers. Shannon got a mouth, and I believe what she tries to do is distract you with the pearls of the purity and the niceness and the good girl, but that ain't really who Shannon. Shannon got a mouth on her, I think, but she's a hype girl for Dominique. She's the girl in the background. You ever, imagine 2 girls, going at it, and one of the girls that's going at it with the other girl got a hype girl in the back. She's like, yeah. That's Shannon. That's Shannon. So we find out that Mercedes is going to come on the show. For what? Why does Mercedes need to come on the show and what? Help defend Shannon because she can't do it on her own? Shannon, you need to stop being number 2. You number 2, girl. You number 2. And then Donnah, the math ain't math, and Donnah, I don't know how you got a PhD in math. I don't even know how you got it, girl, because you don't even know how to add 1 + 1. Vince is 1 + 1. Vince ain't even no complex math equation. He's not. He's real simple. I know a lot of you, let Vince spin you around like he spun Donnah around. He spun Donnah around and then said, but do you still want me? And Donnah sat up there and said, I'm not for sure. I don't know. What, girl, why it ain't a no? Why it ain't a no? An emphatic no. To be so smart and intelligent book-wise, but then to see her stumble over these simple equations of Vince, which is 1 + 1, sad to watch. And Vince, all y'all taking up for him last week, telling me how mean I was on him and I was too hard on him, and I hope you see it now. I hope you see it now. You see what I'm saying? People need to learn the difference between a transparent person and a rude person. All season long, Don and everyone else is calling Vince transparent. I said, he's not transparent, he's rude. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, and transparency has to do more with still building a safe space. When you are transparent, you build a safe space for people to be comfortable with you. You can still nurture people's feelings and emotions and be empathetic. Vince doesn't do anything with his so-called transparent. He doesn't nurture you. He doesn't make you feel better. He makes you feel worse. That's called rude. Look it up. Do I need to look it up? Where is AI? Let's look it up for you people who don't believe me. Transparent versus rude. Okay, people? Let's see what it says. Transparency is about clear, honest communication and open motives, while rudeness is about intentionally disregarding or hurting others' feelings, even if cloaked in honesty. Okay? You people need to learn this. You understand what I'm saying? Transparent communication usually aims to solve a problem or provide needed information, not just to wound. Right? And it's not blunt. It's not harsh. It's, rudeness is blunt and harsh, condescending, lacking tact, simply unhelpful and aggressive. That's rude. Okay? And some of you have been mistaking Vince's transparency. You've been mistaking some of his rudeness for transparency. He's rude. Okay? And obviously Donnah was one of the ones that was tricked and fooled and spun around. Learn the difference. Learn the difference. Ed, for the millionth time, Ed has really only had to say one line all season long, and that is, I'm not interested. All season long, everyone kept saying Ed is emotionally disconnected. And he has said all year long, I'm not interested, I'm not interested. Cardi, and they call him Cardi's metaphors. And what I'm going to land on with Cardi is that this is no shade to Cardi. If you remember what I talked about Cardi was I believe that Cardi was a nerd early on. I kept saying that. He's a nerd. But as I watched Cardi in this, reunion, and everyone was talking about Cardi's metaphors and how he dances around, and I add in what Cardi said when everyone was calling him shallow. Ashley, of all people, was calling Ashley the not the booty call, but the foodie call. Ashley, who was really only with Darius for furs and free rental cars, called Cardi shallow because of the metaphors he uses. But I started to look at Cardi, and I started to say I was originally calling him a nerd, but honestly, there could be a case to be made, and I don't use this lightly, that Cardi could have a tinge of some autistic behavior, because Cardi told everyone, why are you calling me shallow? I'm the most deep person you could know. And what that kind of told me was, I do think Cardi has really, really deep thoughts. And sometimes your thoughts are so deep, they get jumbled. And then you're not able to articulate them in a linear way that other people can understand. And the details, they intensify in your head. And when it comes out like a lot of garbage. That's what I think about Cardi. That's what I think about him. Bellow was out here hiding in plain sight the whole show. Dominique saying she just now seeing the real him. So Darius, we didn't talk about him, but I think it's going to get on to later on. I think later on they're going to really, really, really get on to Darius next episode. But that was my introduction. That was a long introduction. How long was that introduction? Darn near 17 minutes. But we're going to go in and get a little bit deeper into it, because we really got into going back in some scenes and watching Donna and Vince. And they were replaying the scene where Donna says she wanted to be engaged in 2025. It's 2026. Donna done gone backwards. She came in single, wanted to be engaged in 2025. She left out of here single and in some type of triangle threesome between Vince, Nicole, and Lauren. That ain't the direction Donna was trying to go from being engaged to being in a threesome. Woo. People better have thick skin to be with Vince. That's what she said. You got to have thick skin to be with Vince. No, you got to have Teflon skin to be with Vince. And you also got to be lacking discernment. Those two things. Because Vince ain't, like I said, he ain't no quadratic equation. He's second grade math. 1 + 1 = 2. He ain't even multiplication, algebra, calculus. He ain't none of that. Okay, Donna, you a mathematician. Shit, you can do this on your fingers. You don't need no calculator, no Excel spreadsheet, nothing, no AI, nothing. It's real simple, Donna. Real simple. Sometimes that's what happens to smart people. They're so used to solving like really big problems that when it comes to simple things, they're like, their brain can't even wrap their head around it. That's the problem with Donna. I think Donna looks for complication because the simple people probably bore her, right? Well, girl, get something else to do. But the whole story with, what's her name? Donna seeing Lauren in the coffee house, then finding out that Lauren was on the list of people that Vince was dating, and Vince, who's running around masquerading as being transparent but is really rude, says, yeah, what kind of transparency is it when you say you dating other people, but the one person you leave out from saying you dating is the same woman that the other girl you date knows that you was just on the show with. What kind of transparency is that? That is not no clear glass. That's a dark tint, limo tint. I can't see through that window. That is a limo tint. That is not transparent. And it's sad to see. He goes around and says, oh, we were clear, as Donna said, that we could date other people. We knew we weren't in an exclusive relationship. So there goes where Vince says I was being transparent. But I left out a really big part, which was the one person I am sleeping with or messing around with. What Lauren said, ain't no one smelled her, touched her, or looked at her pee thing. So let's not say they slept together. But I guess, what is it then? He's spending money on you? Lauren, as I said, Lauren is a side chick. I don't know how else to tell y'all. Really, if you look at what Lauren does, she's a side chick. And what really made her mad, what makes a side chick really upset? I'm going to tell you what makes them upset. Really, what side chicks want to do is they actually love competing with the woman that's supposed to be the main chick of the man, whether it's a wife or a girlfriend. And it's what Lauren was doing with Dominique and Bellow. She never really wanted Bellow. She wanted to compete with Dominique, right? That's what she really wanted. And same thing here. There's nothing you could tell me that Lauren didn't know that Vince had chosen Donnah at the end of the show. I don't know, you could see someone in a coffee shop in Detroit, but you didn't know how the show ended. I don't believe it. She knew. But what she wanted to do was do what she wanted to do to Dominique, which was still Donna's man. Well, he wasn't really her man anyway, but in Lauren's eyes, she's thinking it is her man and I want to steal him. But the thing that makes side chicks even more upset is when they think they stole your man and they find out there's another side chick. You see, Lauren wasn't that upset when the conversation was going on about her and Donnah. But where she got upset with was when she found out she was also competing with Miss Nicole. All of a sudden then she had a problem. You see, because she was ready to enter the game with Donnah willingly, right? One-on-one, down the court. Let's me and you, Donnah, go at it. Because that's what Lauren likes to do. She likes to compete with women. That's the side chick behavior. They really don't want their own man. Because it was like she talked about her ex. There's no thrill in nurturing your own relationship. The thrill is competing with other women. That's the side chick mentality. They don't really want their own man. They just want to beat you. They want to make you look stupid. They want to be able to say, look, I'm better than you. And that's why everyone kind of knows that Lauren doesn't really like any of these men, for real, for real. That's why she didn't sleep with Vince. She doesn't really like these men. They're just prey for competition. You see, that's the behavior of a professional side chick, because when the men think they're getting the side chick is really using them. Her friends told us everything we needed to know when they said, what do you like about Lauren besides her looks? Because what her friends know is once people get to know Lauren and they realize what her moral values are and what her real game is, they don't like her except her looks. That's it. That's all they like. And in the end, Vince didn't claim Lauren either because he knows her values, right? Vince knows her values. Vince knows that I called this girl the B word during the season, but she still continued to chase me. What for? Why is she chasing me? And I called her the B word because she's not here for me. But Vince thinks, that's fine. You want to come over here and play? I'll play with you. And Lauren thinks, well, I didn't sleep with him. I didn't kiss him. He didn't sniff my pee thing. He didn't see my pee thing. Then what are you doing there? What are you doing there if you're not trying to build toward an intimate relationship? You're just there to beat Donnah. so that moment can happen. You see what I'm saying? Because when Donna said she ran into Lauren at the coffee house, I want y'all to think back to what Donna says she does every day, or what she would do. I forget, it was Donna said, I would probably be in the coffee house working on my dissertation PhD quadratic equation. So you know what Lauren did? Lauren figured out what coffee shop Donna goes to, so she could go there and tell Donna, I'm dating your man. Because if y'all want me to believe that Lauren just happened to be in the same coffee shop in Detroit, Michigan that Donna goes to, because Donna's got routine, because she told us that, I don't believe it. Because the thing about a side chick is they need to be found out. That's where all the notoriety comes from. That's why new side chicks today don't stay silent, because the glory is in being found out. There's no glory in being the side chick that no one knows about. The glory is being the side chick that everyone knows about you, and then you can say, see how I stole your man? That's the glory. And so Lauren, in her low moral values, found out what coffee shop Donna goes to, so she could go over there and expose Vince. She don't really want Vince. That's why she said, I ain't kissed him, I ain't touched him, and he ain't gonna get nowhere near this. And she wasn't upset when she found out that Vince was still playing the two, because she already knew. What she was upset about was when Miss Nicole came over and dropped her bombshell. That's when she really got mad, because then she realized, wow, it's not all about me. Lauren wouldn't even be a girlfriend of mine. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't trust her as far as you can throw her. You can't trust her. Cardi, like I said, I'm going to put him most partly on the spectrum with all those jumbled thoughts, metaphors, intense ideas, but not being able to articulate them in a linear way. Everyone's saying that he's shallow. I don't think he is. You know, it's so interesting. Dom said that she could see that Cardi wasn't shallow, that he had something down there in deep in beneath, but somehow or another she was fooled by Bellow. Come on, ladies, be better. Be better. Dom, what you need to admit is that you're overly swayed by visuals, money, and looks. And what that does for you is it makes you overlook the deeper things. Because if you could see the deep qualities of Cardi, you should have been able to see what we all saw about Bellow. But you were stigmatized. You were blinded by the glitz, the glamour, the Vegas jackets, the receding hairline, all of that. Even Ashante said that Cardi is not, he's not shallow. He's just particular. Like I said, it's not shallowness. It's deep thought. It's really, actually, like he says, it's deep thought and really precise thinking, but it just doesn't translate well in conversation. They asked him if he was willing to pursue anyone, but he said, I ain't letting y'all know because we shouldn't force things, right? Because he probably knows that whoever he wants to pursue, they don't want to be with him. So keep it to yourself, Cardi. I agree. Keep it to yourself. And like I said, when Ed and Nicole don't live in Detroit. I'm convinced that Nicole lives in Flint, Michigan, where there's something in the water, because there's something in the water with Nicole. And like I said, she needs to go to therapy and figure out, you know, when she first drank of this water, because it's contaminated. Her whole insides are contaminated, and she needs to put on a chastity belt, and she needs to be in a conservatorship before she's able to make decisions about a man. And like I was saying earlier, I didn't get why Ashley was so upset at Nicole. And Ashley was not just upset like you would be for someone you liked. She was mocking Nicole, making fun of her, basically saying how stupid and dumb she is. But Ashley, girl, don't nobody think you smart. No one thinks Ashley is smart. So right now, Ashley is writing checks she can't cash because you're not no better, Ashley. Not no better. But Nicole said she tried to connect with Vince for the 1,000,003 time, and it went nowhere. And finally, Ed had to say one more time, there is no romantic connection with you. Period. This ain't a pageant. You're not going to keep coming back and making it to the second round and the third round and the fourth round. This is it. This is it, Nicole. It's over. One and done. Okay? Get rid of that system you have where you think you can just keep coming back and coming back and coming back and people will change their mind. Or you get some new technique and now all of a sudden, girl, yeah, we moving you on to the third round. And then when all that stuff went down, when she revealed the fact that she and Messy Boots Vince were fooling around and that it became physical. And Vince sat over there and called her messy. Okay? Called her messy. Messy Boots Vince had the audacity to say that Nicole was messy for revealing all his wrongdoing. Can you believe it? Can y'all believe it? But then after all it went down, and Vince is telling her how messy she is, and she shouldn't have done that. And, you know, you misrepresenting the truth. Nicole still went over there talking about, give me your hands, give me your hands, like she still wanted to date him. And Vince was like, what? This is crazy. Because even he's saying, you just exposed me for all my wrongdoing, but yet you still want a hug from me? I tell you, Nicole revealing that she slept with Vince, girl, I would have never told that. And I think Vince was thinking, there is no way Nicole would expose herself on national TV for something as dumb as sleeping with me. He was thinking his secret is safe with Nicole because it's just so ridiculous. It's so embarrassing that why would she reveal that? Why would she let a person know? And especially not let them know on national TV. And Vince underestimated the trauma of Nicole. He underestimated the degrees in which she'll go to be able to continually try and try again. And she revealed it. How many of you would have revealed that? Or how many of you would have taken that to your grave and healed on your own by yourself in a corner somewhere? He telling Nicole that ain't cool. You ain't cool. Get out of here. And like I said, after that all came out, that was the only time you saw Lauren get upset. That was it. Then we had to move on and watch Christina and Devon. I thought they was together because Christina got some happy weight on her. She done gained that weight like you do when you get married, you know, the first, and you gain that little happy 10 pounds because you're just so happy. You and your man is just eating all the time. And laying up in the bed, cuddling and eating all the time. But she never revealed what was going on. I don't know. But it was undeniable. Everybody saw it. She got a few extra pounds, you know. Somebody said that she might be with child. I don't know. Could be. I'll be happy for you, Christina. But, you know, that whole little back and forth, her still trying to defend all that GoFundMe stuff she was doing about the massage. And then Devon even said, she's so good, she made me think it was my idea. Devon looked crazy out there. He looked crazy. Christina said, I need to know prior to me even liking you, whether or not you're going to be a provider. And, you know, here come Bellow talking about, it's okay if your love language is gift giving or acts of service. But we know most men, we just want to do that a little bit later. And Christina says, no, I need to know up front, right? If you can't meet my love languages up front, then we don't need to go no further. And they asking her, does the protection, Vince is saying, does the financial outweigh the protection? And Christina's asking Vince, why do you have so many questions about me? Because he's just an antagonist. Because Vince, you do neither. So I don't even know why Vince entered that chat, because whether she likes protection or whether she likes financial, Vince, you've told us you don't do both. You've told us and you've shown us you don't do both. You've already said financial, no, ain't happening over here. 50-50, great. Now, everyone thought you were protective with your transparency and honesty, but now they found out that your non-transparency, your non-honesty is disruptive and destructive. So you don't offer either, Vince. Like I said, all you people going hard in the paint for Vince, your compass is off. Because you should have seen this coming since episode 1. Should have been fooled by Vince. You shouldn't have been fooled by Vince. If you were fooled by Vince, you need to go back and recalibrate your whole decision making, because he was very, very clear. Very, very clear. Like Christina said, can't everybody be my man? And then went over there to Bellow and Chris and says, do you want another shot? No, they don't want no other shot. Christina, what's wrong with you, girl? What is wrong with you? You know, Bellow running around talking about in the who said what. I didn't know Nicole had a nice booty like that. And Nicole was grinning from ear to ear. Girl. I don't know. That little who said what clip, I guess it was okay. But the last little scene that we got to see was the fight between Dom and Bellow. Dom talking about their undeniable energy, sexual energy. Sexual. It was sexual energy, Dominique. Everything else you guys weren't even in alignment over. You just said you weren't in alignment financially, and you weren't in alignment in religion. You weren't in alignment in terms of building a family. Can both things be true? Dominique said that the reason why Bellow broke up with her is because he didn't have enough money to step up to the plate to which she was used to or accustomed to, that his finances are in disarray. His life is in disarray. Can that be true? Yes. Do I believe you, Dominique? Yes. But it doesn't matter if Bellow had all the money in the world. He was never going to marry Dominique. Not with this whole Muslim faith thing. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. So, I mean, Dominique can tell herself all the time that the only reason Bellow skipped out was over the money thing, and it really wasn't over the cultural issues. Then she's lying to herself, just like she did all season long. She played herself. You know, he came back and told her, you don't fit in my future. And I'm pretty sure that Bellow went home for Christmas holidays with his family, and he caught them up to date on this woman that he was dating and the circumstances around it. And the difference between Bellow and Dominique is Bellow listened to his family. Dominique didn't. Because Dominique's family, her father, told her the same thing. But what Dominique said in her confession was, I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm going to do what I want to do. Bellow went home, told his family about the same circumstance, and his family said, hell to the no. We're not going to accept her in this family. You're not even aligned in your vision. And what Bellow did was what a good Nigerian man did. He came home and told her, ain't no way I'm going to be able to marry you and take you home to my Nigerian mother, because she won't accept you. She won't accept you. So he listened to his parents and Dominique didn't. That's the difference. And Dominique can act as if it's all about money. Girl, no it ain't. No it ain't, because he did it on Christmas Eve. I wouldn't be surprised if his family was sitting right there while he talked to you on the phone, texted you, or did whatever he needed to do to let you go. I'm sure his family said, you know, you talking about how broke Bellow is. Bellow might have needed some money from his family. And what his family said is, we ain't giving you no money until you break up with her. You know, if his finances are in as much disarray as you say they are, then there's a good chance that he needed some help from his family. And if he did, his family probably said, we're not giving you no money. We're not helping you do anything with you doing this over here. That's how they gaining more control over his life and what he does. You over here telling your daddy, I'm a grown-ass woman. I do what I want to do. And Bellow's over there with his family saying, well, I need money. I was going to try to get some of her contacts, mommy and daddy. But if you can help me out financially with my child support and everything, then yeah, I'll cut her loose. Dominique is running over here talking about stand on business. He is standing on business. He's standing on his financial business. That's what he's doing. And when he stands on his business, he can't choose you. You know, she thinks stand on business means choosing her. No. Yeah, he's minding his business. That's exactly what he's minding. His business, his money, and his family. What a mess. What a hot mess. Like I said, Dominique is a case the opposite of Nicole, overconfidence. Overconfidence is when you believe you all that, you so great, everybody would want you, that people would overlook things in which they can clearly see you're not compatible with them because they would just want to be in your presence. Like Bellow said, I was caught up in the presence of Dominique, not her whole life, what she's really, what the whole package is. Can't have children possibly, older, all these things, but just in her presence, feeling good. Because that's what Dominique does. She makes you feel good. But in the end, you're going to have to wake up. You're going to have to wake up. And what Dominique has relied upon is that she will be a good fit for men, all men, because she's all that. No. There's a lot of things about you, Dominique, that are not conducive to relationships where men are. And you need to stop trying to be with those men, thinking that all your other characteristics outweigh that. No. Family is big. When men want to build a family, it's huge. It's huge. Very, very huge. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got to talk about. I will see y'all next week for part 2 of the reunion. Talk to you later. Bye.